calendar be adjourned without date. Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Creedy.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Pasito. Aye. Councilman Dunn. Aye. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby. Aye. Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Town Attorney. Madam Clerk, please call the next public hearing.
We have the petition of the Commissioner of Buildings to demolish it and remove the two-story split-level wood-frame, one-family dwelling with attached two-car garage, and to remove all litter and debris from the property located in Baldwin.
Commissioner, are you here? Or Deputy? Can you come up in case we have any questions? All right, any member of the board wish to be heard on this matter? Okay. Does anyone here at Town Hall who wishes to be heard on this item like to be heard on this item? Okay. All right, since there are no speakers, I don't have any sign-in sheets for this item. May I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the petition be granted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Pasito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Aye. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby. Aye. Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Okay, you did such an outstanding job on that one. We're going to ask you to hang out there as well. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have the petition of the Commissioner of Buildings to demolish and remove the two-story wood-frame, one-family dwelling with attached garage and to remove all litter and debris from a property located in Oceanside.
Okay. Does any member of the board wish to be heard on this? Okay, I do have somebody that signed in. I have Mrs. Treader. Yes. Mrs. Treader, the public comment section is right there in the back. If you could please join us back there. When you get there, if you just give your name and address for the record, we appreciate it.
Hello.
Hi.
Morning.
Name and address for the record.
Christina and Stephen Treader, 536 Derby Drive South, Oceanside, New York, 11572. We are here to, hopefully we can remove and demolish this property. It's a very hazardous to our health. It's full of mold. It's been like this for the past 4 years. The owner has done zero. And, you know, we're just hoping it can get demolished. It's an eyesore that we have to go and see every day. I go out in my yard. All I do is look. It's full of, lately, everything has been, the town, I guess, has come and cleaned up the weeds.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of animals and possums and raccoons and everything there.
And everything else.
And the thing is, before this house was even lifted,
Yeah.
this house was in foreclosure, and they still got the money to lift it. Supposedly, I don't know what these people did with the money. And then it just really, you know, aggravating us as neighbors that, you know, why was this house even lifted if this property was in foreclosure beforehand? They should have never been able to be given that money. And I believe it was October 1st, about 4 years ago, when the house went into foreclosure.
Well, this is
in the newspaper.
This is our deputy from the building department. He's going to identify himself, so you have his name, and then he's going to tell you what the purpose of the petition is today.
Daniel Leo, Deputy Commissioner, Building Department. Basically, what we do have is one of our engineers to go out there and deem the property unfit and suitable for removal. So it is in the process, and we do plan on removing the building.
Okay, I mean, like, any time frame to be, you know, should we expect?
Time frame on that?
Bless you.
We're looking at.
After approval, we'll have to do an asbestos abatement to see how much asbestos is in the house to abate. And after we get that report back, we can move forward and see how much it is. And then.
Okay.
So within 30 days, I would say it's safe to say.
But if you'd like, we can have Mr. Leo take your name and address and kind of, when they get the details of it, keep you in the loop so you're familiar with the timetable on it.
That'll be great.
Yeah, no problem at all.
I haven't been in a loop at all.
That's no problem at all. So maybe you know what? Who was that just jumped up there in the back? Oh, okay. Matt's going to. Councilman Diaz-Pasito's staff, Matt Paccione, is going to meet you in the back and get your name and address so they can, you know, contact you and keep you in the timetable of everything going on.
Okay, great. And I think my husband.
Matt, just raise your hand so they, you're right.
That's Matt.
Want to say something?
No, we're good.
Okay.
You're good?
All right.
Thank you very much for coming today. I don't have any other slips on number 2. Is anybody in the public here to wish we heard on number 2? Okay, if not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the petition be granted.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. You are doing such a great job. We're still going to ask you not to leave this podium right there. Madam Clerk, would you please call the next item?
We have a petition of the Commissioner of Buildings to demolish and remove a one-story wood frame storage barn and to remove all litter and debris from a property in Uniondale.
Okay, does any member of the board wish to be heard on this item? Okay, I do not have any slips. Does any member of the public here today wish to be heard on item number 3? Okay, if not, may I please have a motion?
I move that the petition be granted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. And though you did do an outstanding job, I am going to ask you to have a seat for the next one, all right? But don't go anywhere. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding regulations and restrictions to limit parking in Uniondale and West Hempstead.
Okay, does any member of the board wish to be heard on this? Okay, I do not have any slips. Does any member of the public here today wish to be heard on this? Okay, great. If you can go on over to the public comment mic over there and give your name and address of the record, that'd be awesome.
Yes, Pearl Jacobs, Uniondale. I'm just asking for clarification regarding the arterial stops. Where, what, in Uniondale.
Okay. If you could identify yourself for Ms. Jacobs, and I...
Yes, Tom Reed, representing Traffic Control Division. The items on this agenda is for 2 locations in Uniondale. One is Green Grove Avenue, and the other is Lowell Road.
Okay, so what are you going to do? You're going to put no parking, no standing? Yep.
Okay, what the first one is for Green Grove Avenue, we have to open up the restrictions that's there for the church, and the church requested that we put up a no parking anytime in front of the church to help the congregants have easier access for parking. They're allowed to pick up and drop off parishioners with this new restriction in front of the church.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other member of the public here today wish to be heard on this item? Okay, may I please have a motion?
I move that the petition be granted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Gary, you did such a nice job. I'm going to ask you to hang out there for a minute, too, as we call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding parking or standing prohibitions in Baldwin, East Meadow, Levittown, Merrick, Wantagh, Uniondale, West Hempstead, and Woodmere.
Okay, does any member of the board wish to be heard on this? All right, I do not have any slips. Does any member of the public wish to be heard on this item? All right, if not, may I please have a motion?
Move that
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman. Aye. Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. All right, Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
Proposed local law regarding arterial stops in Elmont, Franklin Square, Lawrence, Levittown, North Baldwin, Roosevelt, Seaford, Uniondale, and Wantagh.
Okay, I do not see any slips on this item. Does any member of the board wish to be heard on this? Okay. I see some residents want to, you have ask some question, any residents that are in? Okay, if you could just go over to the mic on the other side and identify yourself. No. Arterial stop is?
Yes, the arterial stops are recommendations to have stop signs installed at certain locations. That's it.
Okay, any other members of the public wish to be heard on this? If not, can I please have a motion?
I move that the public hearing be closed and the local law adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito. Councilman Dunn. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Did you vote yet? Did Tommy respond? Tommy, did you respond? Councilman Muscarella?
Say aye.
Okay, I just want to make sure. All right. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have the proposed local law regarding prohibition of left turns in Merrick.
All right. I do not have any slips on this. Does any board member wish to be heard on this?
I move the public hearing be
What?
closed.
Oh, hold on, I'm not done. No, everybody's off today, all right? Any member of the public wish to be heard on this? May I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed, the item adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin?
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman?
Aye.
Councilman Creenie?
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn? Senior Councilwoman Gooseby?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Yes. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding school speed limits in East Meadow.
Okay, I do not have any slips on this, but first let me ask the board members if they have any comment or questions. All right,
Yeah, I'd just like to say that the superintendent reached out to my office. We had the third precinct involved, the principal. We all thought that this was a great idea. I'm very happy to see it on the agenda today.
excellent. Any other board members? Any members of the public here today wish to be heard on this one? Okay, if not, may I please have a motion?
Make a motion that we close the hearing and adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin?
Yes.
Councilman Blakeman?
Aye.
Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn?
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed handicap parking on public streets in Atlantic Beach, East Atlantic Beach, Bethpage, East Rockaway, Elmont, Franklin Square, Levittown, Merrick, Uniondale, and West Hempstead.
Okay, first off, does any member of the board wish to be heard on this? All right, I do not have any slips on this. Does any member of the public wish to be heard on this that's here today? Okay, moving right along here. I have a motion, please.
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the item adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin?
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman? Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn? Senior Councilwoman Gooseby?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding gross weight restrictions in Merrick.
Okay, does any member of the board wish to be heard on this? Okay, I do not have any slips. Does anybody here in attendance wish to be heard on this item? Okay, if not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin?
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman?
Aye.
Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn?
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Aye.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a resolution to authorize the conveyance of a vacant commercial property, parcel of land, located at 301 to 303 Nassau Road in Roosevelt.
Any member of the board wish to be heard on this? Okay, I have a couple of slips. I see John Moss. Good morning. If you give your name and address for the record.
Morning. John K. Moss, PC, attorney for the Department of Planning, 100 Garden City Plaza, Suite 203, Garden City, New York. We're here today to support adopting a contract of sale for a piece of property known as 301-303 Nassau Road. Department of Planning had put out a request for proposals. We got a response, and the response included, and the contract includes the following community development aims. Creating new employment opportunities, potentially 25 to 40 new jobs, provide new and expanded local services to residents, add to the aesthetics of the community, and alleviate traffic congestion. We've had a number of community meetings. Ms. Gooseby was kind enough to invite us to speak with the community. One of the meetings, it was suggested some sort of urgent care, and that's something that I believe the developer is going to try to move forward on. The proposal is for a medical mixed-use office-type building, so obviously creation of jobs is a big thing. If there is a emergency or a urgent care approved tenant, then obviously that's a service for the community that would benefit them. Any monies that are made from the sale of the property are going to be reinvested in the community as part of the Community Block Grant Fund program income. Practically speaking, the parcel's been off the tax rolls for quite some time. We're going to put it back on the tax rolls. We're hopefully going to be creating new jobs in the community and provide services to the community that are not otherwise addressed. We believe, and I think from the community meetings, it was also echoed that this development would assist the community and certainly is part of the overall community development plan that the Department of Planning has moved forward with in the Roosevelt community.
Okay.
I'm here to answer any questions if you have with regard to the particulars.
Thanks.
I'd like to say that we did have a meeting with the community, and they were very much in favor of this. And I'm sure that the person who's purchasing it realizes that he has to keep up with all the promises that we had him make.
Yes, in fact, we do have some provisions in the contract which will survive closing, and also some restrictions in the deed. One of the provisions is also that the town will be permitted to approve the first tenants to the property. So
Exactly.
we have some control over that.
We did.
Great. Oh, well done. Thank you.
And the community was in favor. That was one of the conditions that they wanted.
Great.
So that's wonderful.
Any other board member have any questions? Okay. I don't have any other slips. Does any member of the public wish to be heard on this? Okay. If not, may I please have a motion?
I move that we close and make sure that we convey this property to the owner or the person who bidded for it, and also in favor of all of the constituents in Roosevelt.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Moss, and thank you for building in those covenants, too. We appreciate that. I know the senior councilwoman's excited about that. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the next item, which is an application.
Yes, the last public hearing is the application of Global Montello Group Corp. to include an existing gasoline service station within the GSS district to install storage tanks in Elmont.
Okay. I think I recognize the applicant's attorney, so I'll ask him to identify himself, though, for the record. If you could.
Hello? Okay, there we go. Just want to make sure that's working. Okay. Good morning, Supervisor Clavin, honorable members of the Town Board, Senior Councilwoman Gooseby, Madam Clerk, Kevin O'Brien from O'Brien Law PC, 462 Sagamore Avenue in East Williston, New York, here this morning representing the applicant. I also have here with me this morning Mr. Eric Mine. He is a licensed professional engineer from Bowler Engineering. That is Bowler, as in B-O-H-L-E-R Engineering. They're the design professionals who have prepared the plans which are before the board, and I could see that they are on the screens. I was going to hand up some 11.5 by 17s, but it looks like it's not necessary because we're technologically proficient. So we have everything there, and I believe everything we have on the 11.5 by 17s have been submitted to the board. This is an application, so let me put these away because we're not going to need them. So as noted by the town clerk, this is an application by Global Montello Group. It involves the existing gasoline service station at 1641 Hempstead Turnpike in Elmont. The property is actually owned by Getty. They've consented to the application, and it's leased to us as a global service station. The application itself is for inclusion into the GSS zoning district, as well as to really make substantial improvements to this particular location, to operate a convenience store, to operate self-service over there. And I did notice there were some, and we had requested to modify certain covenants and restrictions, which were part of a prior approval involving this particular service station. So if you can indulge me just for a moment, I just want to go back into a little bit of the history of this site. As noted, this is 1641 Hempstead Turnpike, which is on the south side of Hempstead Turnpike, and it is located, we're fronted by three streets. Hempstead Turnpike, which would be, it's the south side of Hempstead Turnpike. We have Jacobs and we have Stone. So we're bordered by three sides. It's an existing gasoline service station, which, as far as the records that I had looked up through the county and through the town, looks like it's been operating since in or about the early 1950s. Like any service station, what happens is you have changes that come along the way, removal and replacement of underground storage tanks. The last sort of substantial change that was made to this service station was in or about 1972, where it was kind of put into its current configuration. And if you look at the sort of current improvements at the location, you have 3 pump islands, you have a kiosk underneath a canopy, which is over those 3 pump islands, and then you have sort of this utility building store towards the back of it. That was done in approximately 1972, and I did note that there was, as part of that approval, it was approved pursuant to a particular site plan at that time. That site plan was part of restrictive covenants, which we'd seek to modify, because what we're proposing at this time is a complete raise and rebuild. I mean, the area is such that it is bounded by commercial mostly, but to the rear of us, if you look at the overhead, you'll see the residents behind us. Across the street, you've got the Home Depot shopping center. You have a number of quick serve restaurants and other service station in the area. So you've got mixed commercial on, New York 24, Hempstead Turnpike, the major thoroughfare going east and west. So what we're proposing is a complete, like I said, a complete upgrade, complete raise and rebuild. And on one hand, you would say from the ground up, but it's actually from the underground up. So what we're proposing to do is remove all the underground tanks, all the underground piping, install a 20,000-gallon underground double-wall fiberglass regular tank, a 15,000-gallon compartmentalized tank, all new piping, all in accordance with Nassau County Health Department requirements, the Nassau County Fire Marshal, the state DOC, state DEC, not DOC, DEC, as well as the federal requirements. So everything underground would be fully compliant, as well as everything above ground. So when we're saying we're raising and rebuilding, underground up, and then what would be proposed is to eliminate everything that's there currently. And as you can see, it's dated. It's well dated. I mean, some of those service stations that were built in the early 70s, they kind of had a life expectancy that this service station has gone well beyond. So we're putting in the new underground gasoline storage tanks. We're putting in 4 pump islands, which would have 1 multi-product dispenser per island. I don't know if we can shift the electronic screen. Is there the ability at all to change that? Maybe not. Oh, which I'd want to show the site plan, if we could show the site plan, which would reflect, I can kind of point out where the pump islands are going to be, and let's see. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So what you could see from that would be, like I said, we're completely eliminating all structures, so everything would be brand new, the latest and greatest. We have the building, which is sort of that shaded area, which would be a sales transaction area and convenience store. And on towards the right-hand side, a little hard to see, but there are 4 pump islands. Each would have 1 multi-product dispenser and a canopy over it. On Hempstead Turnpike itself, our engineers have met with the DOT, and they've eliminated one of the curb cuts on the one actually closest to the intersection on Hempstead Turnpike, and so there'll only be 1 curb cut on Hempstead Turnpike. Maybe if you could switch over to another plan which would reflect the elevational drawings to show what the building itself would look like. let's see, now switch it to another one. No, that's, no, that's where it is. No. What I can do is, I do have 11.5 by 17s. I thought it was, oh, there it is. Okay. And that would reflect what, but thank you. So this would reflect what the, this is the elevational drawing showing what the front and the back of the building itself would look like. Obviously, you know, a substantial upgrade to what we currently have over there now. So this would bring this into the 21st century as far as service stations go, and it's also sort of part of the keeping up with the Joneses of the service station industry. As you see, and as this board has seen, you know, a number of upgrades to the service stations throughout the township, and you know, some of the companies have really done a fantastic job in their elevational drawings, their architectural elements, as well as their landscaping. So we intend to do the same thing here. So that's really the sum and substance of the nature of the improvements. And like I said, the application itself involves, in as much as it's business zone, to be included into the GSS, to modify those conditions that were imposed in 1972. And really those conditions just, you know, approved a certain site plan that this board approved back in 1972. And we just missed the GSS at that point because I don't think it was adopted yet. I think the GSS ordinance was adopted in or about 1974 under then presiding supervisor, I think it was D'Amato at the time, is when it came in, but we were 2 years. So while the improvements as they currently stand required town board approval, they did get that at that time, but the GSS came in 74, and now we're seeking that inclusion. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that the board may have, any interested observers, or any questions you might have for my
what it says, why don't you stick around, because I know the board might have a couple of questions. I know some residents here. One quick one for me is, so right now, existing, I'm looking at, there's a gas station. Is there a small mart there, or repairs being done there right now?
There are no repairs being done. There is a small mart currently on the property.
Okay, all right. But there's the repair shops 1 block to the west?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, any member of the board have any questions?
Yeah, I have a few questions. You mentioned that Getty owns the property.
That is correct.
Is this a new purchase in reference to your client?
No, they lease the property. Getty has owned it, I think, for quite some time. I think our client leased it relatively recently, but they don't own it. Getty still owns it.
Okay, so Sunny Gasoline that predated your purchase, correct?
That is correct.
And then you signed I take it, a long-term lease?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the improvement and betterments that you're putting on there, the store, is that owned by you or by Getty?
They would be by us, by Global Montello. Okay. And it would be everything. So the paving, the curbing, you know, so it's not just a piecemeal type of thing. Everything would be brand new.
All right, so I have something here from the community in reference to Sunny Gasoline, some of the sins of the past, and some of them were the fact of the noise, the fact that they were selling illegal cigarettes, selling vehicles without licensing, and this would negate that, correct?
That's correct. And certainly any conditions that would be imposed, certainly to abide by all, you know, current laws, and as well as it's not uncommon for the board to impose certain conditions, such as not selling vehicles, boats, and the like. I've seen that in the past, and we'd certainly consent to such impositions.
So now, you're saying this is going to be a raise and rebuild? So I'm
Correct.
taking that it's a demolition and a total new construction?
Absolutely.
There was some other issues. One of them was the fact that the community was asking whether or not you could put a metal guardrail on the front fence to stop vehicles from going through the fence into houses. I'm of the assumption that that is a state road and that you would have to get permission. I guess if traffic is here, they would be able to inform us, but can you see to it that some kind of a protective devices or?
Certainly, absolutely. We could certainly explore that in the front, and if it would make the community feel better in the back. I've seen this in some instances where along the back property, I mean, if there's a concern about the residents, I mean, there'd be a long way to go, quite frankly. But we're going to put fencing over there as well as landscaping. But if it would be comforting to also put a guardrail by that, I'm sure we could do that.
Yeah, if you can do some kind of fortified barrier.
Sure.
I'm 30 years in the insurance business, and I want to protect those homes and the community for that fact. The only other thing they mentioned was the fact that there were the cameras that were a part of the prior owner hadn't misdirected towards more the community and not so much towards the. You're going to upgrade the security and the.
Yes, yeah, we'd have security cameras inside and out. That I never heard that one before, where the cameras were misdirected, but certainly, you know, A, they're all going to be removed, and B, you know, they would be, you know, done in such a way so as to.
And you'll be updating the air conditioner system, correct?
Be completely brand new. Everything will be brand new.
There's one and only, because I'm trying to understand, you know, the community has, I don't know what it is to live around a service center, but this comes from one of the neighbors. And there's one of the things they requested was there wouldn't be any clothing collection boxes allowed on the property. Apparently that was a problem there, plight.
You're 100% correct. It was recently brought to my attention. I visited several times myself. I noted that sometimes, you know, you'll see that where they'll go on to large parcels of property. I've seen them at Home Depot sometimes these services. Yes, one was there, and I directed to have it removed, and it was removed. But yes, that was a problem in the past. I found out about it, communicated with the company. They've had it removed, and certainly as a condition that there be no these donation type of things, because yes, they do have a tendency, unfortunately. I think the intention is good, but they accumulate stuff. People leave baby carriages, they leave all kinds of stuff, and it becomes unsightly. So that has been removed, and certainly that would be a reasonable condition that there be no of those sort of collection boxes.
Okay, last thing, I like the fact that you said you agreed with me, but I'm going to say this, I agree with you. In 1972 is a long time to upgrade a gasoline station in Elmont. I think it's long overdue. With that, I would just like to turn it over to Don.
The fact is, the model's changed from a repair shop gas station umpteen years ago to more of the convenience store where people are parking in front, it's getting the gas and having, you know, I guess my thing is, you know, Elmont's got a real opportunity here. Along Hempstead Turnpike, I see you do have some plantings, you know, during the curb cuts, so the aesthetics of it are much nicer than what they are right now. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Okay. All right, and I think one of my other board members had a question.
Yeah, just in view of the fact that the 20-year war just ended, a lot of troops will be coming home. You plan to have an American flag flying?
Absolutely.
It's on the app.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And you're going to have underground sprinklers?
Yes, to keep the landscape.
That was one of the questions.
Yeah. One suggestion I would make to the board, which is going to seem a little odd coming from me here, but we did this in another municipality, so we could always share with one another. And I always say the gasoline industry, they're pretty competitive, you know, and they like competition. So in the town of Babylon, quite frankly, we had a competition as to who had the best looking service station. And everybody really stepped up to the plate with their landscaping and the like. And some of them do like seasonal plantings, and, you know, for Halloween, they put hay bales and stuff like that. So just a suggestion.
No, I think you're seeing that competition going on well. I think a single gas station spurred development in West Hempstead recently, because you know what, that's,
Yeah.
like I said, the model's changed, and I do appreciate that, and the neighbors appreciate that a lot. However, with that, I know we do have some neighbors here today. If you're done with your presentation, the board is done, I'd like to also get some of the neighbors involved here.
Absolutely.
All right, any board members have anything else? All right. All right, I'm going to start with Maria Brody. How are you? I'm going to ask you to give your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Maria Brody. I live at 20 Jacob Street. I'm 2 houses back from the gas station, not 1. My property does not border the gas station. First of all, I'd like to get a copy of the plans. We never got copies when we were notified. They didn't send plans with the site plans and stuff. I'd like to see what they're doing. I'd like to have a copy of that for my records. In the past, all of the things that I listed on the sheet that Mr. Mascarella read out were true. They seem to have a hangout for day laborers who have not gotten picked up for work. Those guys are drinking, smoking pot, playing radios, all right behind that convenience store. I don't want that process to continue. At one point, they set up a barbecue 20 feet from the gas pumps. And they were grilling hot dogs and hamburgers. And the potential to blow up the entire neighborhood was right there. And they don't care at all. And nobody chases them from that gas station. They kind of shrug their shoulders and walk away from us, okay? The other thing is, I don't know what's going on with the pitch in that gas station. I'm hoping that when they rip out everything, that they're going to fix that, because the puddle becomes a lake in that gas station. So that's a big problem also that has to be made sure. I'm assuming that's going to be taken care of with all the new construction. Okay, and I think you kind of told everybody about everything else, but just that they have not been good neighbors. I have filed complaints since 2017. It's 4 years already. And various companies. I don't know if they're all the same company, just, you know, DBAs, whatever. I don't know.
Well, as you know, I think they're getting really basically a new tenant at the location, and you've heard from Mr. O'Brien's presentation, they're doing a whole new construction. There's a good opportunity for you. Mr. O'Brien's, you know what, he's generally very, very good about talking to residents, getting the feedback, keeping in the communication. Maybe if you could stick around, we could ask Mr. O'Brien if you can get the name and address and just, keep it in the loop. I'm sure based on
It's a better company than the last 2.
Yeah, and I think we're all hoping, and like I said, Mr. O'Brien, has a pretty good record of communicating with the residents, and that'd be a positive, and hopefully you'll come back in a couple of months and say, you know what, it's working out all right. We'd like that.
Marie, I would like to be the resource over to the 5th precinct that
Okay. The other issue the other problem we had consistently over the last 4 or 5 years is parking of trucks, various trucks, dump trucks. One summer there was an RV park there with the air conditioning going.
In the gas station?
In the gas station.
And that's what I said to you. I think the new tenant coming in and the fact that their business model has changed from a unfriendly neighbor to more of we're going to have a convenience shop to a gas station. It's a good opportunity to talk to them.
The last 2 were exactly the same under different names, that's all.
Like I said, Mr. O'Brien, raise that hand high. Put your hand up in the air. There you go. There he is right there. You got him. Awesome. That's what we're asking for. Thank you very, very much. Awesome. Great. Thank you.
Okay.
All right?
All right, thank you.
Yep. All right. I now have Linda Zwirling. Linda, did you want to speak?
Basically,
If you have to give your name and address for the record, please.
Linda Swirling, 11 Stone Street, Elmont. I'm the first house there on the block. And yes, everything that was said was pretty much on point. Yes, the cameras. I have pictures of what the fence looked like prior.
Yeah.
I don't remember it must have been before 2020. We had a very, very large windstorm, which knocked the fence into my house. The fence is really, it's all eaten away and everything. It's so bad. I have not been able to let my dog out.
Well, like I said, you're gonna. This seems to be a total knock it down, dig it up, from scratch, and that's a nice part. And again, with Mr. O'Brien, you can give him some input. And by the way, he could tell you, maybe that lousy fence that's, annoying you is going to be gone, and maybe there's a new fence going in there that you can have some hope of what it's going to look like.
Because that's been for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Since 2020, and, go ahead.
I got you.
Basically.
Well, you can hang out with Mr. O'Brien as well right after the hearing to exchange info.
Here's one more question.
He said that they were going to eliminate one of the curb cuts on Hempstead Turnpike, okay, and use one curb cut only? Does that mean the ensuing traffic goes out on the side streets instead?
Okay, we'll let Mr. O'Brien come on up and answer that question. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we both live on some.
Yeah, no, I got you. Well, let Mr. O'Brien, if you can answer their concern, that would be great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, and thank you for coming down, sharing your comments. Yes, I'm going to meet with them afterwards. I've got extra plans and stuff which I can give. I'm sorry, I forgot the first woman's name. Maria. She's correct in the sense that I've been there on several occasions, and particularly with the rains that we've been having. There are catch basins and stuff, but they're failing, quite frankly. So what happens is you do get this pond. So what's going to happen is, like I said, complete rebuild from the ground, from the underground up. So those catch basins all going to be removed, all new, in accordance with the town's requirements. You're going to have a lot more catch basins and the like to sit there and correct that situation. With respect to the curb cut, since it's a state roadway, our engineers had gone to the DOT. So there is going to be a lot of times the state likes to eliminate curb cuts closest to the intersections. It's just one of those traffic type of things. So we acceded to their wishes in that sense. You have access and egress, so you will still have both access, and what they'll usually do is put a larger curb cut in, so you can have ingress and egress onto Hempstead Turnpike. Occasionally, and I'm just going to throw, it's certainly up to the community, and this goes both ways, but I'll meet with them and see what they say. Sometimes people don't want a right-hand turn going back out into the community, and we've done that where we can do that and put signs to say no right-hand turns if that's what they want, or it would be in one instance it would be no left-hand turn. On the other hand, people say, I live here and I want to be able to go and use the gas station and come back. So that's a discussion I think that we can have.
I was going to say, perhaps you could talk to them about, saying if they're down like that, we could direct traffic less to the left-hand side so they don't go back or right. Like I said, it'd be a nice communication. They've lived with the prior tenant for a long time, and I think they're excited about something better happening there, and it's just nice working with people.
Understood. As far as the fencing, we're going to have a brand new fencing that's going to go in there, but I'll meet with them right now.
She'll be very upset you're not going to keep that old ratty fence, I'm sure.
Yeah. and I'll give you my card too, so this way we stay in constant communication.
Oh, Maria will. Trust me, I know Maria. She will be in constant communication with you. So get ready.
Okay.
I'm teasing you.
He had
All right.
nice things to say about you.
So they're gonna. I said nice things. So he'll stick around and you guys will follow up. Okay.
Yes.
Great. Oh, I know. I was trying to warn him. The next I'm going to call Jean Marcelin. Hey, Jean, if you can go to the mic there and give your name and address. All right. Did you want to speak? No? Okay. Okay. Is your neighbor too? Okay. I don't have any other slips for number 16. Does any member of the public wish to be heard on this? Okay. If not, may I please have a motion?
I make a motion to do a reserved decision on this matter.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blake.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Aye. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Mr. O'Brien, we reserve decision on it so the residents know, but if you can keep us informed of any changes that may come from it.
Absolutely. I got to meet in the back room right now, and we'll keep you posted, and thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please call the administrative calendar?
Yes, so on the administrative calendar, we have items 17 through 110.
Okay. Okay. First, does any member of the board wish to speak on any of the items on the administrative calendar? Okay. I have a couple of slips here. First, we'll start off with Bonnie Garone. Good morning. If you need your name and address for the record, thank you.
Good morning. Bonnie Garone, Rockville Center. There are two items I'd like to speak on. One is number 93, which is the new collective bargaining agreement. And my only question is that you don't identify the individuals to whom you are extending medical, dental, and retirement benefits. And that's in the resolution, and I believe the taxpayers should know the answer to that. And that information is also required to be made public by the New York Open Meetings Law. So can you tell us who those individuals are?
Ms. Garone, the answer to your question is that they are full-time employees of the town of Hempstead who currently receive health insurance, dental benefits, and participate in the New York State pension system. We don't identify them by name, but they are non-union members or in some other way exempt from the collective bargaining agreement. So it's really the workforce members of the town of Hempstead. They don't receive more, they don't receive less than what the union members are getting, and they receive, in effect, a continuation of what they're currently getting under the current collective bargaining agreement. It's merely an extension of benefits for health and dental purposes to full-time employees of the town of Hempstead that are not union members.
Okay, that's not really who I was asking about. I want to know who, in addition, if any, is covered by this, because on the resolution it says, first of all, the members of the Board of Zoning Appeals, who are not full-time employees of the town of Hempstead, and those employees listed in Schedule A, and there is no Schedule A attached, and those employees designated by the town as its negotiating team, that's not identified, and its management advisory committee members, and they aren't identified. Are they all full-time employees of the town of Hempstead?
With respect to anyone identified by category or by classification, yes, you're talking about full-time employees of the town of Hempstead, again, who are as part of their employment with the town of Hempstead, as they would have with employment with perhaps a private sector employer, the right to medical and dental benefits. This is the mechanism whereby they are entitled to receive from the town of Hempstead, a municipal corporation, medical and dental benefits as well. That's all. What it does is simply state that if you work for the town of Hempstead and you are not a union member, for example, you are appointed by a member of by the town board, or the town board, or the Board of Zoning Appeals, which you note we didn't list the actual names of the members of the Board of Zoning Appeals, but it's public knowledge, it's a public record, it's easily identifiable as to who is a member of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Each of them is getting the benefit of health and dental benefits.
So if it's that simple, why doesn't this simply say all full-time employees of the town of Hempstead, period? Then no one has to wonder who these categories are.
Well, I believe it is rather simple and straightforward. I don't think that there really is any complexity to it. We're really talking about somebody or anybody who works for the town but isn't covered specifically under collective bargaining, under the collective bargaining agreement.
Joe, would that be you?
Yes, that includes me.
So nobody got anything they weren't prior. It's just covering a person like you, an appointed commissioner or deputy commissioner and things like that, right?
Precisely right.
Okay. I also have some questions about item 70. This is the agreement with Pioneer Sports. Now, the town is advertising this as if it's a town activity, town function, but it appears from this resolution, and again, there is no The agreement is not attached, which you are required to do by the open meetings law, and which I actually foiled to have, at this meeting. But can someone tell me, it says that the commissioner of the department recommended the retention of Pioneer Sports. In what manner was this company vetted before this recommendation?
If you could identify yourself, too.
Morning, everybody. Commissioner Frank Zangler, Parks Recreation. We were seeking to bring in a company to offer many different clinics that we haven't offered in the past, such as a baseball clinic, a hockey clinic, a football clinic, and it's no cost to the town of Hempstead. I think the fee that they are paying us to host their clinics on our facilities, I don't have the exact number. I think it's under $10,000. So it's a very, I don't have the exact number though, but basically it's just to take some pressure off us and allow us to host more activities and recreation for the public.
Well, the language here that really I found most interesting was that Pioneer has expressed a desire to do this. Have any other companies expressed a desire to do this, or did you put out an RFP or an RFQ to invite companies to do this kind of thing?
No, we didn't go out to RFP for this.
How did you find them? How did Pioneer even know you were looking?
I think through connections with our recreation department, being in the field.
Connections with anyone else?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so they're paying the town $1,600 basically for each of these 5 events. And for that, they're charging children $60 a head for a 2-hour experience. And they're getting free advertising from the town because the town is advertising it as if it's a town activity. But meanwhile, Twitter, Facebook, I don't know if there was a mailing. So the public is led to believe that this is a
Thank you, Ms. Groen, and just so you know, I'm pretty sure, as a father of 3 of those kids, are definitely not paying for that program. I know that I'm paying for any of the programs I get to do, and $60 is a pretty good deal compared to some of the things I get to sign up for.
Wait, I didn't understand. What did you just say?
You said the kids are paying for it. It's not the kids generally. It's the parents that are paying for the program.
Taxpayers of the town.
Thank you, Ms. Barone. Always a pleasure.
Company is going
Next,
to
I have a slip from Felix Percacci.
You really are unbelievable. And so against transparency, it's amazing.
Felix Percacci, Franklin Square.
Morning, Mr. Percacci.
On items number 44 and 46, the contract and fee schedules are not attached to the resolution. And, these companies that won the bid, that information should, be public according to the open meetings law. And now I have to foil it. And I know that there's always an issue because there's a lot of foils, but this information shouldn't be foiled. It should be on the town's website prior to the meeting. On the item number 90, you're going to refund bonds of $23 million. I just want to make sure you don't do what you did last year, claim savings before the refunding actually takes place, because last year we had the resolution, but you didn't refund till February. You shouldn't do that. You're misleading people.
Okay.
On the CSEA agreement, there's one item that's a kind of a little, it says 15 and then in parentheses 17%. I understand what the real meaning's supposed to be, but that should be clear. It should be 17% for the first 3 years, then it goes down to 15, but that should be written out. You should rewrite that paragraph so it really says what it means. And then finally, all those additional employees that this is extended to, this should be put as a separate resolution and not part of a CSEA agreement, because it's not. It's a separate resolution for these other employees. They're in a different category, so you should have a separate resolution to just be totally clear about it. On the federal CARES items, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, I'm guessing, because it seems to be such that those items before 100 add up to $280,000 and change, And then there's a Resolution 100 that transfers money of $280,000, and it comes out to the exact same amount. So I assume that, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that those items go into the villages, then you're doing one transfer in item 100. And the thing is, in item 100, you're not saying where the money is being transferred from and to, which account numbers. Because I've done a total spreadsheet, I don't know if you saw it online, of all the resolutions that this town has passed, that state it's done with federal CARES funds. And I'm already over $134 million, and I know we only got 133.8 because I have the documentation for that. So the thing is, where are you getting the money? And there seems to be an error. I've checked the resolutions many times to make sure I didn't make a mistake. So far, you've allocated more money. Now it's going to be like, I think, $134.6, $134.7 million. And you really should specify exactly where the money's coming from.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Conchi. I'll pass along to our controller. Oh, and just so you know, and I know you'll be excited in particular, we got another bond upgrade last week from John. Who did we get a bond upgrade from? S&P. What did they do for us? Double A. Awesome. I know you're concerned about that, so I always love to share that with you. Next, I have Diane Madden. Good morning. Your name and address for the record, please.
Diane Madden, Hempstead. A question about 93. Full-time employees. So is this, how do you differentiate full-time from part-time? I believe they're probably 80% of employees are part-time. Is this covering actually the part-timers?
Ms. Madden, you're referring to the resolution extending benefits to the various categories of employees. Is that what you're talking about?
Correct, 93.
Yes. In very simple terms, full-time employees are full-time employees are the full-time employees who work 40 hours a week on a regular basis and have obtained the status of a full-time employee entitled to full benefits and participation in the New York State retirement system. It's that simple.
Well, it's really not that simple because it seems to me that it's covering all employees, correct, including part-timers?
The part-timers do not receive medical or dental benefits or participation in the New York State retirement system. At a certain point, if a part-time employee does become a full-time employee, they can apply to the New York State retirement system for credit for the time that they earned working as a part-timer. But that's almost a distinguishing factor between the full-time employee and the part-timer. The part-timer doesn't receive the benefits.
So what would you say that the total cost is for this agreement?
I can't give you a specific estimate as to the total cost, but I can assure you it's already been accounted for within the budget that is being proposed. So the costs for the entire town payroll, be it full-time employees, part-time employees, along with all the other items that the town routinely is required to pay for, have all been accounted for in the proposed budget as they have been in past town budgets.
Okay, is any of this money coming from the Federal CARES Act money?
And not to my knowledge, no.
Okay, and the full-time employees versus part-time, how many would you guesstimate are being covered now? Because I'm under the assumption now that part-time employees are not receiving any change of benefits, which are about 80%, I think, of the town's workforce. Are they receiving any additional benefits with this contract?
Part-time employees are not receiving medical or dental benefits or participation in the medical system. That's it.
Okay, item number 44. Again, this contract, it doesn't state the fee schedules. Do you have any idea what the fee schedules are?
Well, Ms. Madden, you're correct that the resolution doesn't state the fee schedules, but if you notice, it's a rather lengthy resolution, and it was put forward for consideration by the town board, by the Department of Purchasing. This was put out to bid, and various responders bid on various aspects of the proposed bid, and they were awarded in public where the bids were opened for all to see in conformity with the Open Public Meetings Law and General Municipal Law. The bids were opened, and the various winners of the bids were the lowest responsible bidder pursuant to a fee schedule. They're not literally listed out here, but they are available, and they were done, as I said, in public, consistent with the Open Public Meetings Law.
So this is the Herald that's getting this contract, correct? And they will be taking care of all the town's printing of mailings?
I'm sorry, say that again,
This
please.
is the Herald, correct? Reckner? So they will be handling, and they've received the contract to do all of the town's mailings.
You're referring to which number again?
This is number 44.
Again, as indicated, I'm looking at number 44, and I see a number of bidders numbered 1 through 6, each of which won the bid as per the fee schedule that they proposed the lowest responsible bid for. So I'm
It's
not sure.
possible that I might have the wrong number, but I'm speaking specifically on the contract and agreement with Reckner Newspapers to handle the town's mailers.
It is 44?
So, by 44 was awarded to a company called Richter Printing LLC?
Oh, I see, that was number 5. Richter Printing LLC is one of the 5 companies that was awarded a bid, and again, it's pursuant to a fee schedule per item. They would have won the bid when it was opened in public. Their numbers would have been shown to all the other bidders and any member of the public who was present, and wherever they were the lowest bidder for that item, it would have been awarded to them.
And will the town continue to do in-house printing of mailers?
Well, you keep referring to it as an in-house printer. There is in-house printing that is done, but in-house printing can't take care of all of the needs of the town of Hempstead for the printing for everything that needs to be done by a municipality with nearly 800,000 people in it and a government of this size. So there is a need for outside vendors to provide printing.
Item number 102. I noticed that there is another promotion at the animal shelter. At the same time, the animal shelter employees constantly are expressing the lack of and shortage of employees. I mean, we have a $4.5 million animal shelter budget. This is the shelter director's responsibility, as well as the commissioner's responsibility, to make sure that building is fully staffed, and it's not. And this could be why. This is where all of the $4.5 million is coming from.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Madden. I don't have any other slips. Does anybody else in the public wish to be heard on the administrative calendar today? Okay, great. If you go to the back area and give your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Supervisor, as before, I'm going to spray this mic because I see nobody's cleaning it. I have Lysol. And today's positivity rate is 3.9% in Nassau County. I spoke about this last time. You know, as the largest township in the country, should set a better example. It seems that all the guidelines have been thrown away. I am vaccinated, but I wear my mask for myself as well as to protect others. 20. My question is, what permit has been submitted for Uniondale? For a parade?
Number 20? Joe?
Ma'am, what specifically is your question about the parade?
I'm questioning what sort of permit was submitted on behalf of Uniondale? Was it a parade? Was it an event?
There's a thought it could be for the homecoming, but we can find out and let you know.
Yes, and I would like to find out also, please let me know. I mean, every time I come here, you say you let me know. No one ever gets back to me. Maybe you can let me know before the meeting is over. I would appreciate that. And I would like to know, are there any permits in process or an application process for Uniondale September, October, November timeframe? Thank you.
Ms. Jacobs, I'll let you know before the end of the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Okay, I don't have any other slips. Anybody else in the public wish to be heard in the administrative calendar? Great, if you give your name and address when you go up to the podium, that'd be awesome. Morning.
Good morning, Supervisor and town people. Case number 19246, item 21, clarification of the bond resolution, authorization of assurance of $26,031,844 series bond to finance said appropriation. What are said appropriations?
You said number 19?
No, item 21. The case number is 19246.
Joe?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. You're asking for a clarification regarding items 19 through...
No, the case number...
Is 19246. It's
That's
number
correct.
21 on the calendar.
Number 21.
Item 21. I just want clarification of to finance said appropriation. What appropriation? Or application, sorry.
21 being the bond resolution?
Yes, that's what it says.
Yes. This involved litigation which challenged the assessment of taxes, ad valorem taxes, that were levied against various utilities. The litigation went to court. There was a settlement. It involved both Nassau County as well as the town of Hempstead and other municipalities. The result of the settlement was that there would be a refund to the utilities of certain amounts of money. That also involved the county. The county itself has what you probably have heard of as the county guarantee. The county guarantee was also implicated in that matter. And there was a global settlement that was reached, I should say instead of global, a settlement among all the parties in which a refund would be given. The town would bear a portion of that cost, the county would bear a portion of that cost, and the utility accepted, I would refer to it as a lesser amount than it might ordinarily in order to save its litigation costs as well as the time involved.
So what you're saying, sir, the council, is that when you sue Keyspan, Verizon, or any other corporation, they're being overtaxed or undertaxed, or assessment?
They challenged their taxes. The assessment itself is done by the County of Nassau, not by the town of Hempstead. So they brought forth their challenge, and again, this is the result of the settlement. Our share of it is the amount that is now being bonded.
So the 26 million, that's what the county, the town has to pay them, or we're going to receive that?
I beg your pardon?
Is that the amount that the town has to pay, or that's what we're going to receive? The town of Hempstead is going to receive the 26 million?
Well, the town of Hempstead had already received a substantial amount of money from levying this tax in the first place. So again, we're giving a portion of it back as part of the overall settlement.
Now, if the town could get the money back from the utilities, is any of the taxpayers going to kind of credit a refund also from the settlement, or is it just strictly for the town?
I'm sorry, please repeat that.
I think if Joe, if I'm correct, then we're not getting the money. The
No,
utilities getting it.
we aren't receiving this money. As part of the settlement, they challenged their assessment. They challenged the amount of the assessment. They challenged the assessment, the ad valorem tax that the town of Hempstead itself levied against the utilities. They brought it to an actual lawsuit that involved the county as well as the town. And if you think of it as the utilities as one group of party, the county of Nassau as another party, and the town of Hempstead as a third party, there was an overall settlement in which the town agreed to return this amount of money to the utilities based upon their challenge.
Thank you for the clarification, because when I saw the amount, I was wondering if the taxpayer was in the loop of getting anything from it, but if the town is returning it to them, then it's better. Thank you for that. James B. Jacobs, Uniondale, 568 Ash Court. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other member of the public wish to be heard? Okay, may I please have a motion? Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, how are you? Come on, if you jump up to the back mic there, that'd be great.
Hi.
How you doing? Morning. Name and address for the record, please.
Dominica Califano.
Okay.
I was here at the last Town of Hempstead meeting. It's very disturbing that I have spoke to, there's construction going on 8 Carolina and Long Beach Road.
Is this regarding the administrative calendar?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're doing the
There was a
administrative.
public hearing. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, it's just the administrative. We're going to move. We're going to call the public section after. Don't worry about it. Anybody else wish to be heard on the administrative calendar? Okay, may I have a motion on the administrative calendar? Or
Okay, before we do that, just for the record, for Ms. Jacobs, the Uniondale Parade, it actually, the permit that she was looking for, it's actually the Long Island Marathon.
Oh.
And it will be on September 19th. I will get her any other parade. Oh, there you are. I couldn't see you. I have a resolution for you, but it's the Long Island Marathon. Yes, that's what I'm checking on right now.
okay, great. All right. May I have a motion on the administrative calendar?
Okay, I moved the administrative calendar. Now, we have 11 to 14 that was on the other agenda, right? Okay, I move it entirely.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Senior Councilwoman Guzman.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Okay, now that the formal town board meeting has been adjourned, the town will remain to listen to the comments of its residents.
Supervisor, I make a motion we adjourn.
Oh, okay, we'll make that motion first then.
Give us a chance.
I want to stay with all of you. What?
Move and we had a second? Okay.
Yeah. yeah.
Yes, second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman. Aye. Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Aye. Senior Councilwoman Guzman.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Okay, now that you made your motion, now we're going to stick around to listen to some of the residents' comments. I have a couple of sheets in here. I'm going to start with Denny from Uniondale. And I didn't know if it was Raz or Razy. Raz? Okay.
And while this gentleman is walking, might as well complete the loop. Ms. Jacobs, there are no other parade permits for Uniondale for September, October, or November pending. You're welcome.
If it's, give your name and address to the record. How you doing?
My name is Raz Denny. I live at 1107 Braxton Street in Uniondale. I've been a resident there for about 36 years. And I just want to say, good morning to you, Mr. Clavin, and the board members. And the reason I'm here, I'm basically talking to you in reference to an issue that's been going on for 10 plus years. And that concerns the rental of single-family homes in Uniondale to college students. And I'm basically representing the concerns of many taxpayers. I would like to bring to your attention a very serious issue that affects the quality of life for the taxpayers of Uniondale and the surrounding towns of Roosevelt, Hempstead. The issue that has been progressively getting worse over many years concerns the occupancy of college students in many single-family homes. These homes are brought by individuals who have no interest in living in the houses, but are clearly bent on making a quick profit at the expense of our neighborhoods. As a result of these rentals, an element of undesirable behavior is being brought into our communities. The first element is overcrowding. The average single-family home has 3 bedrooms. The unscrupulous owners will double the occupancy, collecting from each individual a fee, usually about $1,000 per person. Most of these rentals have occupants who have a car, with several of these rentals on the block. The parking spaces for the taxpayer become non-existent or severely limited. Frequent visitation by fellow students on most occasions, causing loud, disruptive behavior that spills into the street. Multiple incidents of garbage generated by the students who live there, and their visitors being thrown into the streets, causing litter to pile up. The students who live at these residences, most of them have no routine for putting out garbage for twice weekly collection. I have personally seen these weeks of garbage accumulations left on the side of the house of 1100 Braxton Street. This resulted in having to call the Town of Hempstead Sanitation, which resolved the issues on several occasions. With the presence of these unconcerned renters, they provide a haven for multiple strangers who frequent our neighborhoods. They start up and race their cars up and down the streets, causing unsafe situations. I have spoken to numerous residents about the situation. They have agreed that this is an unacceptable situation that is occurring year after year. The situation can be easily resolved. May I finish with that?
What I'll say is, you know what, you're right. Hofstra has a new president. She just took over last month. If you could stick around, Danny, if you raise your hand. That's my building department commissioner. He's going to stick around and take the addresses, but I'd like to, the president was nice enough to reach out to me just yesterday to get together. What I'd like to do is when I meet with her is, follow up and recommend she sit down with you and maybe a couple of the other neighbors who live around there to really, new president, let's get a new message. This is a residential community. Let's do it the right way. But I'm hoping if you got a couple of minutes right now, you can go to the back and Danny can get these addresses and follow up on the complaints. Also, with regards to sanitation, that if the garbage is piling up and you got to send some guys down to write tickets to send these absentee landlords a message as well. I'm happy to. All right, right here in Uniondale. So he's going to go in the back of the room and talk to you right now. All right.
Can I just recommend one thing?
We have to keep it to 3. People yell at us when we don't. But he's going to stick around and talk to you in the back. And like you said, it is funny you bring it today because, like I said, she reached out to me yesterday, and I'll bring it to the president's attention because I get it.
I'll continue next month.
You got it. Next, I have Bonnie Garone.
Okay, first, just real quick, I also noticed that there are no COVID precautions being taken at this meeting, which is fine. If we want to mask, we'll mask. But I hope this means that the rest of the town is equally open, no appointments necessary any longer, animal shelter open, because if it's safe for us all to be here, then it's safe for everybody to be in every other town facility. Going back to my questions about Pioneer, I wonder how many children are expected to attend each of these sessions. I noticed there are 5. I don't know how these communities were chosen. They're in Seaford, East Meadow, Oceanside, Merrick, and Elmont. Out of all the many, many parks we have in this town, I don't know how those 5 were chosen, but I know you won't answer any questions during public comment, so I won't specifically ask you. Not that you answer questions during other sessions either. So they're paying us $1,600. It's a total $8,000 fee. So for each of these 5, they're paying us $1,600. The advertised cost is $60 per child, which honestly, so many people in our town can't afford that, especially if they have more than one child. I know, Mr. Clavin, you laughed about that you'd be paying. Well, you can probably afford to pay.
Actually, you don't know my financial condition, and trust me when I say that's not just quite the case. So please, appreciate it.
Okay, well, I will repeat that. I believe that.
We should never assume. Thanks.
It's really not very sensitive to the many, many, many people in this town that can't pay $60 per child to attend a 2-hour session, especially when that session is being conducted by a for-profit company that didn't win a bid, didn't have to respond to any request for proposals, but just indicated, quoting this, they expressed a desire. And I really wondered to whom they expressed that desire. And suddenly they are making money off our Hempstead taxpayers who are being led to believe that this is a town activity. And I really would like to know, if anyone would condescend to tell me, was this a mailer in addition to the fact that you are for free advertising this for-profit company on Facebook, on Twitter, and you're saying that the town of Hempstead is presenting this? The town of Hempstead isn't presenting this. The town of Hempstead is, excuse me, is renting the space.
Do you want an answer?
Go ahead. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we have vendors all the time who have professional skills to teach our young people to play skilled sports or other types of activities, whether it be lacrosse, baseball, football. I'm sure you must have opposed the county executive's proposal to tax Little Leagues to use county ball fields.
Oh, come on.
Did you do that?
I'm not talking about politics here, Mr. Blakeman. We
Yes,
know
you
you're
are.
running against the county executive, but don't waste our time trying to make a political speech here. I'm asking about this town renting to a for-profit company which will make a profit off our tax-paying parents, and you're leading them to believe that this is a town activity.
Thank
and
you.
please
Always
go
a
make your
pleasure.
political
And next,
speeches
I'm gonna
someplace
ask
else, Mr. Blakeman.
Darrell Godfrey, please. Thank you. Darrell Godfrey? Okay. Next I have Pearl Jacobs. Oh, no, sorry. Is he in the back? Thanks. Good morning, Mr. Godfrey, and thank you again for bringing it to the attention. So, you know what? We appreciate you letting us know. We have the... Nope. Thank you for bringing it to our attention in the last meeting, so we made sure we had the translator here. So, good to see you.
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak again, and thank you for continuing my translator. What I wanted to ask you, from the last meeting, the last time, August 3rd, we talked about 62 Alhambra Road. I got in contact with a couple of inspectors, the commissioner and Gooseby office. Everybody been working diligently on it, trying to resolve that matter. It's still not resolved, but it needs a lot of work done, and it should have never got to this point. I truly don't understand how it got to this point, 11 years of squatters living in a house and having a mechanic operating a mechanic shop in a house in a residential area. It's unbelievable. And then now I'm trying to get in contact with the county along with Ms. Gooseby and the State Department about the oil and everything on that matter. One thing I did notice during this whole thing is that Roosevelt, Baldwin, we do not have a sanitation enforcer. Can you answer that? Can I ask you why we don't have one? Every other town has.
I believe Baldwin has its own sanitary district. Do they cover part of Uniondale? Parts of Uniondale. So Baldwin has its own sanitary pickup. Sanitation number 2.
We don't have an enforcer.
Well, you'd have to bring that up with the sanitary district number 2 for the Baldwin area. We don't. They're their own entity. We don't control them. But if you'd like, we can reach out to the commissioner and maybe share your information to do a follow-up communication with you.
Yes.
John Conroy look down to your right. Is John Conroy right there? He's our sanitary district. He's our sanitary commissioner. He can get your information, then pass it along to the commissioners at Sandy 2 to follow up with you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I got one more thing, too. We also have abandoned buildings that has graffiti on them. Some of the stuff how do we contact people to get some of these graffiti off in the neighborhood? We got graffiti all over the place. And they got them on our signs, they got them on our building, abandoned buildings. And then you get off the parkway and you can see, or get onto the parkway, you can see one on an abandoned building that's been there for years. And there's graffiti on it. I was wondering if somebody can guide me or give me that type of information so I can try to stop that or get rid of that.
Would you like to give us some of those addresses, please? Could you give us the addresses?
Where? The first one is
We have to have someone write them down, so somebody go back there with him, please. Teresa, would you go back there with him so he can give you those addresses? Okay.
Councilwoman Gooseby is asking Teresa from her office to sit down with you in the back and take down those addresses where you identified the graffiti, if that's okay with you.
All right.
Okay? Thank you. Teresa, if you could raise your hand so he can, that's Teresa.
Also, just like I said, I want to continue on 62 Alhambra Road so we can, it's a danger to our community, and we need help with trying to close that house down and get people who want to buy that house and actually live in that house.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And like I said, Teresa's going to go in the back with you right now and take those addresses of the graffiti area.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
He can't hear.
Next, I have Pearl Jacobs.
He can't hear her. He can't hear, so she needs to go back there with him. Okay.
See, it appears, Pearl Jacobs, Uniondale, it appears that these quality of life issues, graffiti, abandoned homes, squatters, they all resonate pretty much in Councilmatic District 1. A quality of life task force has been established in the town of Oyster Bay. Maybe you could take that into consideration because the town of Hempstead desperately needs a quality of life task force.
I think we have to disagree with you on that.
Well, we can agree to disagree. I'm not going to argue that. I'm going to move on. It's nothing to say, but I live in Uniondale. That's why I'm here every month fighting for Uniondale, all across Uniondale, fighting for Uniondale. Roosevelt, Uniondale, Lakeview, same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
They're not all in my district. It's all over the town.
Yes, it is. I have a question. Litter signs. How do we get litter signs placed? Can you stop the clock because I asked the question, please?
When you say litter sign, what is exactly?
Well, we need litter signs. There's a street on Armand Street in Uniondale. The resident called me. She asked me, can she have litter signs placed on the side of her property?
If you'd love to follow up with the communication, I guess from the civic group, we'll follow up on that. That'd be great.
Okay, now who do I follow up with? Because do I follow up with?
You could send it to the council. You could send it to the councilwoman, and you could CC me.
I definitely CC you.
Thank you.
Okay, and so I want to go on to say that Supervisor Clavin and Councilwoman Gooseby, on February 24th, 2021, you met with a 7-year-old girl on Green Grove Avenue in Uniondale. The media was also present at this meeting. The young girl wrote a letter to the town of Hempstead expressing her concern for her community safety due to speeding cars on her street. In her letter, she informed the town of Hempstead that children could not play on her street and that she was afraid that children could be hurt by these cars speeding on her street. The town of Hempstead placed a Children at Play sign on Green Grove Avenue. You, Supervisor Clavin, and Councilwoman Gooseby took a picture in front of the sign and made a statement to the media expressing the town of Hempstead's concern for children's safety. Have either of you followed up with the young community advocates since February 24th to inquire if the Children at Play signage has been effective in reducing speeding on Green Grove Avenue? Have you followed up with that young lady, 7-year-old, since February 21st?
No, I did not call a 7-year-old girl.
Well, I did. I followed up with her mother, and there's still speeding occurring on that street. Maybe perhaps I have here a mailer, the Claven Gooseby LED stop sign program. The officials are deploying hyper-visible stop signs that are illuminated with flashing LED lights at targeted crosswalks and intersections. Perhaps the Claven Gooseby stop sign program would possibly be a more effective deterrent in helping to address the excessive speeding on Green Grove Avenue and other dangerous crosswalks and intersections in the Uniondale community. And can you provide the locations of where these LED stop signs are currently located within the town of Hempstead? And are any of these stop signs located in Uniondale, Roosevelt, or Lakeview?
Thank you, Ms. Jacobs. And,
Can I have
and
that?
Councilwoman, isn't that the girl who sent the cute letter with all the stickers and we did the sound? Yeah, she was.
She can contact us and we have it framed.
Yeah, she was great. If you'd like to talk about the location, again, it's very simple. Maybe you or on behalf of the Civic Association, if you send a communication to the councilwoman and then see me, we could follow up on that. It's, you
answer my question.
I appreciate.
Are any of these LED stop signs located?
Next, I'm going to call up James Jacobs.
No, they're not.
James Jacobs from Uniondale.
They're not put in minority communities.
Mr. Jacobs, thank you. If you come on up there.
My husband, he supports me, so you don't have to call James on me, okay?
No, Mr. Jacobs, I'm sorry. We don't yield time here. If you'd like to speak, please come on up to the mic. That would be awesome.
Okay. James, you want to continue speaking about the LED stop signs for me?
Good morning. Good afternoon, I should say.
Good afternoon.
What happened, Mr. Supervisor and Senior Constable Gooseby, that when I go to Garden City or other locations in other zip codes, we see these beautiful stop signs with the LED lights on them, where the children at play at schools and so forth. But when I go to Roosevelt, Lakeview, Hempstead, and other areas like that, I say, how come we don't have these kind of signs in our neighborhood? I pay taxes. I work every day. Just wondering, what do you have to do to get a type of sign to show that you care for your community? That's why my missus is so passionate, and I support what she does. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobs. Next, I have Marie Sherry from Elmont. And good afternoon. If you give your name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Marie Cherry. I don't think you're going to hear me. My name is Marie Cherry. I'm from Elmont, 12 Arcade Place, Elmont, New York. I buy this property for $280,000 in March 2021. The taxes on this property is $38,000. I called the town. I reached out to Ms. Goody and the supervisor, and they tried to help me, but nothing happened yet. Someone did come in on April 1st to do an inspection from the tax assessment. And I said to them, why the tax is so high? They said it's because they have this property wrong classification. They have it as a commercial. And I said, since you know it's wrong, why you don't fix it? They said, we already do our budget. We calculated our budget, so therefore we cannot fix it until 2023. And I said, why I have to pay taxes as a commercial when my property is owner occupied and is one family, and we guys have it as a full family. The town also had the taxes raised because they said it's a commercial. The previous owner told me he been fight since 2010, and they never helped him until he lose the house. Since I'm a person with disability and I cannot afford the taxes, can the town be fair, get together with the tax assessment people and do it right? Right now, it's very unfair, unjust, and no equal taxes. Why? My neighbor, the taxes is 11,000, and I'm paying 38,000. So I feel like something needs to be done.
No, first off, it's appalling. Just so you know, prior as a receiver of taxes, the Nassau County Department of Assessments sets the value on everyone's property, and everybody knows the county's going through this reassessment where they've had thousands of errors, and yours is just another case. The fact that, and they're the only ones who control it, and they're the only ones who could change it. The town legally can't do anything unless the county does it. The fact that the county's acknowledged they've misclassified your paper, they're telling you that they're not going to fix it for almost 2 years, and they're going to make you literally pay almost $20,000 plus in taxes you shouldn't be paying for the next few years, let alone if you even have that money, which means you could go into a tax arrears, is absolutely disgraceful. You know what? They should correct it. And frankly, if they'd come to the office and you know, do their jobs in the assessment department, this has been a long-standing battle I've had with them, you know, for decades. You know, so I'm appalled with it. We're happy to follow up, but it's really on the county to do their job and fix the mistakes. And yours is an all too real story of how they've messed up people's properties and are facing massive, massive tax hikes, as well as the ability to actually stay in your house. So what we'll do is we will, you know, again, you know, reach out to the county and say, the fact that they actually identified and acknowledged to you that they're doing it wrong, and they're telling you, you're going to have to wait for 2 years, that's not fair. That's not right. And frankly, it's unacceptable.
Yeah. The other question I had is squatter. I had another property where been occupied by squatter, and even they know that squatter take over the property, they still raise the taxes. And in the meantime, I have to pay the taxes, pay the mortgage, when the town's supposed to make sure those people go to shelter, not to a private resident. So they...
This is your local councilman, Councilman Blakeman, and just so you know, the county isn't responsible for, again, the county is responsible for even addressing a squatter, but Councilman Blakeman wants to speak to you and follow up with you, but I know he wants to add something.
I totally can understand what you're saying, because all of us on the town board have heard from constituents about situations that are completely unjust with the new reassessment by the county. I'll give you a couple examples. There are mansions worth over $3 million in the county. Because of the county reassessment, those mansions are paying nothing in property tax while yours was raised. There are people who have the identical house to their neighbor. Identical house. One is $4,000 more than the other because of the reassessment. There is a woman who's in a circumstance like you are in. Her situation is as follows. They reassessed her house, and because she did a transfer of her property, kept her name on the deed to her daughter, so her daughter could also be on the deed, she got her exemption for veterans exemption. She got her taken away. She got her senior citizen exemption taken away. And when she called the county, they said, "We thought you were dead." There's another circumstance of another person who contacted me who had a situation where their taxes went up $15,000. When they called the county said, "Well, if you're unhappy, why don't you sell your house?" To which he said, "How can I sell my house when my taxes have gone up $15,000? Who would buy it?" So we've heard all of these stories. It's the county that did the reassessment. They didn't do a true reassessment. They used a formula and an algorithm that taxpayers had to sue the county to get that information. So we are continuing to speak out against that reassessment. We have no power to change it here on the town board, but we are behind you. We're with you 100%, and we will keep speaking out about that.
Ms. Sherry, let me introduce you to my secret weapon, Kathy Malone. Kathy, raise your hand. That's Kathy. Kathy's going to meet you in the back. She's going to get all your information. We'll follow up. Like I said, I would love to tell you there was something you could do, and I'm appalled that they even acknowledged to you that they know that they made a mistake, and they're telling you, even though they made the mistake, they're saying it's on you to come up with literally $40,000 in the next 2 years, and then hopefully get your money back. We will do everything we can to champion you to have it fixed. I get it. I know you're going to lose it. That's what I said. I'm realistic. So Kathy's going to meet you in the back right now. Get all the information, and I'll follow up, and we'll do anything we can do. Like I said, this has just been, this is what's transpired under this reassessment. So Kathy will meet you in the back right now. No problem at all. You take care. Nice seeing you. Next, I have Felix Bracacci. Good afternoon, Mr. Bracacci. Your name and address for the record, please.
Felix Bracacci, Franklin Square. Was federal CARES money used to pay for the concerts and movies in 2020, the summer 2020, July and August? Can you stop the clock, please?
It's Mr. Bracacci, you know the rules. You've been coming here for almost 15 years. This is the public comment section, please.
Okay. Because the flyers here came in a FOIL request, and the flyers for those movies and concerts were paid for, according to the town, with COVID-19 money. And if Blakeman wants to make a political speech, well, he could do it now. He could propose that the town give back the $68 million in surplus back to the taxpayers, because he's running for county executive, and he wants a county executive to do the same. Who is on the COVID-19 committee? Go ahead, make your speech.
Felix, you'd have a lot more credibility if you congratulated us for the AA rating we got from Standard &
Make your
Poor's.
speech. Make your speech.
You like to talk about bonding. This is your opportunity.
Make your speech. Who is on the COVID-19 committee? Okay. Because today, one of the resolutions indicated that the COVID committee approved the expenditures for today. Does the town board plan on giving itself a raise in 2021 or 2022? Okay. Who's the chairman of the ethics board? I've been waiting for a FOIL request. I can't even get that in after 3 weeks. I can't get the name of the ethics board.
Felix, I'll give you that answer. His name is Dale Watson. I believe he was the one who wrote the letter to you, and he signed it as chairman.
No, he signed it as acting chairman.
So it says acting chairman on it?
Yes.
Okay,
At this
then
point,
acting
he's the chairman.
Okay, so who's the acting chairman?
Dale Watson.
And
We don't need an acting chairman if we have a chairman.
Okay, there's just one. Okay, I just want to make sure there's, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I weighed, there's $979,000 in the COVID-19 resolution on January 4th, and according to your lawyer, they can't find any paperwork. And once again, that was a situation where the COVID-19 committee, it indicates the COVID-19 committee, with its due diligence, reviewed all the expenditures prior to proposing this resolution, yet they can't find any paperwork. I mean, maybe you want to advertise some of that. Also, I wanted to speak on the excavations, those resolutions. I think there's a lot of great ideas in those. I don't like you taxing the people, the utilities, only because they're going to just pass on the expense to us. But I had some work done that I've been complaining about for years on Rankin Boulevard and Barnes, and the town had came and they fixed it, and the holes keep on opening up every few years. And then finally they did what it looked like a decent job, but apparently it wasn't, because it's all ripped up apart. They did, tar it and everything, but the utilities, to their credit, because I know a number of places, Tulip and New Hyde Park Road, which was done many years ago, they do an excellent job at repairing the streets compared to the town work. The town work is substandard, and you should apply some of these principles in those resolutions to town workers, not to the utilities only. Thank you.
Okay. Next, I have Mara Jackwitz. Mara? Okay. Then I have Stu Kroll. Good afternoon. If you give me your name and address for the record, please.
Stu Kroll, Great Neck. We are now past Labor Day, staring at an imminent election for several of you. As I expected, nothing has changed at the town shelter. We are still fixing cats at a fraction of total capacity. Whether the actual number be 60 cats a month or 120, it's just a fraction of what many private shelters are doing. And as an example of this, All About Cats in Freeport fixes approximately 250 cats a month. They have a clinic on site, as a matter of fact, tonight, and they don't have a $5.5 million annual budget. Fixing cats is virtually a contactless process. Therefore, it seems comical that we have yet to increase TNR back to where it was before COVID. Mr. Clavin, you took maskless photos before the advent of vaccines, had a fundraiser at 4 times the state limit. What then is the reason for this failure to bring this capacity back up to where it should be? I will venture a guess that whatever money is not spent somehow finds itself going into the black hole of the general fund. I want to briefly delve into the town shelter sending off adoptable cats to Good Shepherd Sanctuary in Maryland. I'm not certain how many cats are actually residing at the shelter. I was told there were 18 in the cattery, maybe there are 30 altogether. You know, I wouldn't even venture really a guess. Many of the cats that were sent to Maryland in July were listed on the adoptable page by the shelter. The shelter supposedly doesn't take in feral cats. So I don't know how feral cats were sent somewhere if you don't have any, and they're listed on the adoptable page. Hempstead's had a regular pattern of sending cats to Good Shepherd every few months for quite some time now. I won't even focus on them using a questionable funding source, the Tales of Hope Fund, which was designed for other purposes. We seem to have excess capacity. Why ship out any cats at all? Why not have a socializer work with these cats and turn them into adoptable cats if they aren't already so? Let us examine what type of place, we are sending these adoptable cats to live in. The intake fee in Maryland is $350 per cat. I think it is fair to assume that unless Bill Gates is supporting this facility, these cats are getting little to no medical care. According to a few neighbors, no local volunteers are allowed, which certainly you have to wonder why. The perimeter of the facility apparently is also not secure. Has this facility been inspected by the town, or do we just ship adoptable cats there because we want them gone and they want our money? Let us recall that our esteemed shelter director, Pastore, inspected the facility upstate, gave it a clean bill of health. Well, we all know what happened. The conditions were so heinous that our dogs had to endure that the Utica mayor was driven to tears, which you can check on YouTube. Our shelter employees have a relatively small number of cats. It is morally reprehensible that they are allowed to ship them off to a questionable facility rather than work with these cats to socialize them and find them homes. I'll briefly say one other thing. Stay-at-home mothers and disabled individuals have no voice and are being discriminated against, clearly. There are no emails that are allowed to be read into the record here. You cannot question your elected representatives unless you are here in person. I think they should all remember that on Election Day.
Thank you, Mr. Kroll. Thanks for visiting the town. Next, I'd like to bring up Diane Madden. Good afternoon, Ms. Madden. Name and address for the record, please.
Diane Madden, Hempstead. I don't know where Blakeman disappeared to, but I find it appalling that he continues to attack Bonnie Garone. He must forget that actually he works for her. When you talk and you had the dog and pony show about the county and the town and the taxes, let's never forget it was Mangano and the Republican Party that put us in the hole we're in with taxes. I'm no fan of the Democratic Party, but let me tell you, I would not vote for another Republican in the county if my life depended on it. As far as the touchless toilets that Mr. Clavin, you used to your advantage COVID funds to update all of the bathrooms. I recently, for a good celebratory reason, visited the formerly Winthrop Hospital. Throughout the hospital, who's obviously filled with experts and virologists, there are flush toilets. Regarding the animal shelter, a veterinarian who is a neighbor got in touch with me about the cats that you keep shipping out for tens of thousands of dollars. By the way, these cats at the shelter are dependent and used to living in homes. This sanctuary is not even supposed to take cats that are used to being fed. This veterinarian has stated not only has she been for years urging the town and other rescue organizations to stop sending cats there. There are at least 500 cats or more. The fencing has about a foot that it doesn't come to the ground. The cats are exiting. They are getting hit by cars. They are getting trapped and killed by a neighbor who happens to have a chicken farm. This is not a safe place. You made a big stink to Laura Gillen, Supervisor Clavin, about stopping sending our dogs at the time to Kim Strong and that the town should retrieve them. I am asking you again to stop shipping these animals out and to keep your campaign promises to bring in experts to handle this properly, not inhumanely, as this current shelter director does. There is, by the way, no fire policy. What a shame that Felix Bercacci, among all of the lawsuits that are now filed against the animal shelter, include personal lawsuits, but that he had to discover after months of not getting a response, Miss Valerie, Mrs. Hepburn as well, there's no shelter policy, no fire policy at the animal shelter. Please don't leave, Councilman D'Esposito. It's shameful, especially for you, that there's no fire policy at that animal shelter. By the way, Felix Percacci is absolutely crushing the town with his lawsuit. Before all of that ink dries, I think there will be more lined up. And you talked and you bragged during your campaign, Supervisor, that you had no scandals. Well, let me tell you, these are all scandals. Every one of these lawsuits, whether they're personal, whether they're alleged sexual harassment from your family man of a commissioner,
Okay, thank you, Ms.
are
Madden.
scandals.
Always a pleasure. I'm
Always
next
a
going to
pleasure
call
here,
up
too.
Maria Engel.
By the way, Ms. Madden, I never attacked Ms. Garone. Everybody here can testify that. I just pointed out how ridiculous it is to tax Little Leagues, and we would never do that. We would never tax Little Leagues to use our parks. That was the proposal that the county had, and luckily that never happened because it was ridiculous. We would never do that here.
So next I'm going to bring up Maria Engel. Thank you so much, Ms. Madden. Maria, are you here?
Always good to
Maria?
see you, Ms. Garone.
This is a dictator.
No, Ms. Madden, please. It's Ms. Engel's time. Thank you so much. Always nice to hear you. Please, if we get gentlemen.
Political song and dance.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. If you give your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, Maria Engel, Oceanside. I would like to talk about the habitual redactions of FOIL documents and also omissions related to FOIL. As I know, the purpose of FOIL is transparency and accountability of the government to the people who pay the government's bills, correct? Then under what exception does Town of Hempstead routinely redact FOIL documents related to cats whose privacy rights they invoke, whose privacy rights is Town of Hempstead protecting? With no legitimate exception, I ask that the Town of Hempstead release unredacted FOIL documents, and specifically on two occasions, at the beginning of February 2020, the animal shelter violated its own policy. The exceptions are pickles. I'll give you the number, A437500615, and an anonymous cat, A437666787. The second cat has no identifier, ARN blank, chip blank, type blank, name blank, date of birth blank, current age blank, age group 1 to 6 years. No bite history, case number blank. How do you make a record of, the purpose of FOIL is to get information. When you see this kind of a document next to this other one on pickles, who has all the identifiers and the ARN, the chip number, you wonder, how can an entity like you claim that they are providing meaningful information? It's ridiculous. It's shameful, obviously, to avoid accountability. So through FOIL requests, I sought to obtain the policy of the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter on how long, and I would like to know, how long does the animal shelter keep an animal that was just brought in before it puts the animal up for adoption? What's the answer? What's the answer? Supposedly it's 5 days, but I don't see it anywhere, and I would like an answer to this question. What? No answer? So you're saying that you have no legitimacy in putting up for adoption a cat after 5 days. So why did you do that? Okay. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Engel. Have a great day. Next, I'm going to call up Liz Schiff. Good afternoon. If you just give name and address for the record. Thank you.
My name is Liz Schiff. I live at 1 Murdoch Road, East Rockaway. I'm sorry, let me just pull this up. Okay, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I respectfully request a specific answer and not silence. Well, this is my first time here, so let's see what happens. I would like to know, in reference to the CARES Act, the monies that we received that were supposed to be distributed by 12/30/20. We request a full accounting. We would like to know where the monies went. Specifically, at this time, we're in September 21, so there should be no reason why you don't have the full accounting available for your constituents.
Actually, just so you know, we did them all at public hearings and was actually acknowledged by the editorial about Newsday that we did everything open and transparent.
Well, do you have a full printed accounting that we can look at?
As I said, all transactions were done at the board meeting at a public hearing, and comments were made at those times. So
where can the public find those numbers? Okay. Okay. Anyway, I would also like to know how the businesses were able to apply for the money from the CARES Act that was distributed to the town of Hempstead. I believe that was the Dover Group. And why were they the only group, that business, that was allowed to apply for money from the CARES Act? Can you answer that question, please? I find
The Dover Group did not apply for CARES Act money, and no CARES Act money was ever given to them. You may be confusing the fact that during the COVID pandemic in 2020, they suffered severe business losses, and although no CARES Act money was given to them, other places gave a rent abatement, automatic rent abatement to businesses such as Dover. In the town of Hempstead, we required them to prove that they had in fact suffered financial losses due to COVID, and then we gave them a credit for that. We didn't use CARES Act money.
No, I didn't say that you actually gave them, but how, from what I've been told and been told by people, that they were the only business that actually applied for the monies, and other businesses, there was no avenue for the other businesses to apply.
No businesses received any CARES Act money from the town of Hempstead, no for-profit businesses.
But wasn't the $133 million that town of Hempstead received supposed to be given to frontline workers, businesses that were struggling, and such? And so what were the numbers, and who were the people that were given the money?
Again, ma'am, as the supervisor said, even Newsday complimented the town of Hempstead on the methodology that we utilized.
Well,
you can find in the resolutions.
52 seconds.
Your time is stopped while I'm speaking, I believe.
I believe that Newsday also reported that the town of Hempstead is under federal investigation for their use of CARES money. Will you confirm that, or is that false news?
I am unaware of any investigation by the federal government.
So you're saying that Newsday reported that incorrectly? I'm
not even aware of Newsday reporting it. I don't know where you got that from.
Okay. Thank you. That was incorrect. But anyway, going forward, so are you saying that Mr. Blakeman said the person who needed the tax abatement should sue should sue Nassau County to see the process of how they're doing their assessments? Should I now sue the town of Hempstead to find out what your processes are and who all this money went to? The end.
Okay, thank you. Just so you know, a couple of things. You know, we did give millions to Island Harvest Lawn and Cares, the Inn. We gave millions to the school districts. We gave millions to both the public and private universities, to the local hospitals. We actually gave millions of dollars to Nassau County for the IDA, where we actually gave out kits to all the small businesses and walked around with the county officials. Again, it was all public document. Everything was open and transparent, to the point, like I said, that Newsday wrote an editorial. So I don't know who perhaps gave the information, but clearly they were false. Next, I'm going to bring up Dominica Califano.
Okay, that was fun.
Dominica Califano, Island Park.
Good afternoon, Ms.
I just spoke
Califano.
to the commissioner and deputy commissioner. I'm hoping we get it resolved. Have a great deal of concern of the road work that's being done on Carolina and Long Beach Road by Roadway Ahead and M&T Engineering that they claim they sub it out to. I'm hoping that they fix it, not saying that they're going to fix the road and then come back to see if it works, and we'll put a patch job. I'm meeting the commissioner tomorrow morning at 7. I'm hoping we get this resolved. My biggest concern is that they left a handicap ramp that's slanted. You must be drunk to go on it. It's horrendous. The other thing is that I have concerns about is Rough House Rescue in Island Park. We discussed it last time. We have tons of animals coming into Island Park, very, very sick. She has no assembly license. She has no permits to be running an operation. And what I find very disturbing, that the town of Hempstead and the county is not working with the fire marshal, that when they're in court in the town of Hempstead, the fire marshal is not there. The community has a great deal of concern. There's adoption events being done there in the middle of the street on Austin Boulevard. Someone is going to get killed, either the cat, the dog, or the people. It is bad. I'm not sure why this has been going on for over 4 years, from her prior place to this place. It is an absolute disgrace. The other thing is, Anthony D'Exposito has a very good friend employee, Matt Passione, in the village of Island Park. It is a disgrace that his employee driving by giving people the finger, his brother having a girlfriend in Oceanside in an illegal apartment. Anthony was aware of this, and it continues to go on. The village of Island Park, money is missing from the books. It is absolutely disgusting that this village of Island Park is ran by Anthony D'Exposito and family. There is money missing. Our roads there are disgusting. Our piping, our flooding. They bought a bank for $1. There's millions of dollars that went into a new building they never even used, but no one could find any information out. I would like them to look into Matt Passione, Anthony D'Exposito's best friend, for harassment and letting illegal apartments in Oceanside basement apartments go. Someone is going to die in that apartment. Anthony has a beautiful office for his campaign in the village. Congratulations. I wish the money will go into the village and no one's pocket. Our village looks like doo-doo. And so is the town of Hempstead starting to. Our Long Beach Road in Oceanside is horrendous. There was another boat accident on the waters, Anthony. You promised to put 5 miles an hour speed limit there. We did not get that speed limit. Someone's going to get killed by the golf course on the waterways of Oceanside. It is so bad there to put the public at risk.
So just to let you know, first of all, Long Beach Road is a Nassau County road, maintained by Nassau County. We actually stepped up and put our people out there to pick up garbage along the county roads.
No reason to pay another company in Oceanside, the Warriors, so everyone gets photo ops, for them to go around cleaning up.
I have no idea what that even means.
You had photo ops with them.
Okay, first of all, I'm not talking about the Oceanside Warriors. What I'm talking about is a group of Department of Sanitation workers who have been going out to our main thoroughfares and picking up garbage and cleaning up the street. That's actually not even...
Oceanside Park, where you had a meeting at, how disgusting and how embarrassing that park looks like. When you're going, it looks like a homeless park.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Califano.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, I'm going to bring up Kelly Short. Good afternoon, Ms. Short. If you your name and address for the record.
Kelly Stewart, Merrick, New York. I had heard about the Hofstra earlier when I was watching online. I feel it's passing the buck by the town, because if these are private, I understand their situation and I feel their pain with the students and the mess they're making. But and I'm glad the president has a good relationship and the new one reaching out to you. But I feel like it's kind of passing the buck from the town to Hofstra, because my daughter's also a student there, so I can't wait to see the email we get. Also, regarding the shelter, with the Tales of Hope Fund, I had a personal conversation with Mr. Pastore a few months ago where he told me specifically the Tales of Hope Fund is for medical issues like oncologists or ophthalmologist specialists for the animals. That money should not be being used to send cats to a sanctuary. And he also explained that that money is not in a separate fund because it would cost more money to run a separate fund than where it is now, which I think is a very poor excuse. People want to, if that's a donation, then people want to know where their donation is specifically going, and it shouldn't be to send cats to a sanctuary. I think the town, I do not think you should have to fill out an adoption application just to go in and see a cat. They did say it's working well with appointments for adoptions, and I can see where that benefits. That is a good benefit, that they can allot the time they need for an adoption. I can't think of any other business that made appointments during COVID that is still doing appointments, except maybe the DMV, where they actually need appointments because they run so poorly. But things that you needed appointments for, I mean, I can go to Kohl's, I can go to BJ's, I can go to any grocery store. I don't need an appointment. I should be able to walk into the town of Hempstead shelter and look at animals without an appointment. And I really think TNR needs to resume to its prior schedule, prior to COVID, not one cat per person per week or per day. It's very ineffective to spaying and neutering large colonies. And my other question is, I do believe Hofstra got CARES money. Were there any guidelines on what they had to do with that money? Or is there any place I can look to see if they got the CARES money? Were they allowed to do what they wanted with that money?
No, they weren't. There were certain requirements with the expenditures and the drawdown of it, and they knew that, and as well as all the institutions. There were certain requirements that we had that had to be, related to the pandemic.
Good to know. Is there some place I can find that information? I looked on the
the
federal government to find out CARES guidelines, but it was just kind of a tangled web.
The Treasury Department has a frequently asked questions guideline, which would specify the proper uses of the funds. So if you go to the United States Treasury, you'll be able to find that.
Does that differentiate CARES money from you guys, or because Hofstra got, ready?
Well,
$41 million in CARES money, and then is that in addition to what you gave them?
I can't speak for anything else that Hofstra got. I know that what we did with Hofstra, the community college at Delphi MLI, all the institutions, both private. Yeah, I don't know what else they applied for, what else they got.
So would you be able to just maybe help me out with, does it matter who they got the CARES money from guidelines? They have to follow the same federal guidelines?
I would imagine that, you know what, I can't speak what they did with the money they received, if they did from another entity. I know we'd put forth the criteria in the review process with ours, and if you'd like to send a communication, you could send it to the town controller.
One quick question, but
We're gonna jump to the next one. I got to keep to the 3 minutes, Kelly. Thank you very much. The last slip I have here is Marcia DiTieri. Good afternoon.
Marcia DiTieri, Merrick, New York. They're not cleaning the mic anymore, huh? I guess not. Once again, I am asking if anything's going on with the Tree Preservation Act. I was told that something would be there in the near future, and that was last month.
Absolutely. Just had a conversation with the council handling and someone else, and we got feedback from the town board members, and when we feel comfortable presenting something, you'll see it on the calendar.
Also being concerned about tree preservation, I'm asking if less mailers be sent and use phone messaging and emails instead. Getting one every day is more than ever in my history of the town. The other thing I was concerned about is the animal shelter, asking when they will be back at full capacity? Do you have an answer for that?
Commish?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good afternoon, Town Board and Senior Councilwoman. In answer to your question, the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter is open to pre-COVID times. We're accepting all animals, all cats for neuter and spay. We're doing, we haven't turned anybody away. We're open completely. People are allowed to come into the animal shelter. I know Mr. Kroll actually walked through and other people walked through. We're open.
Okay.
One person.
If you have anything different, you let us know, and we'll investigate it. But I'm sure.
One cat per person
Thank you, Commissioner.
per week.
Thank you.
Helping constituents decrease the cat population. I just paid $160 helping someone spay one cat due to limited appointments at the shelter. And also, after hearing multiple people speaking about the sanctuary, please stop sending cats to that feral cat sanctuary. It is a death sentence. Please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't have any other slips. Anybody else in the public wish to be heard? If not, have a wonderful afternoon, and please join us again this Saturday for the sunrise ceremony to commemorate the 20th anniversary of 9/11 and remember those we lost. Thank you all, and God bless.
Thank you very much.